This is Masterful Chats, and I'm Rebecca. Hello to all of my wonderful subscribers, and welcome to those of you who are viewing me for the very first time. Masterful Chats are short, clear, concise, clarifying conversations designed to uplift, empower, inspire, and support you as you move forward along your spiritual path and in your life's journey. And today's chat is about the Ascension, a little bit of history, and to give you some new perspectives of the potential timeline, affecting not only the Earth, but humanity as well. But first, for those of you who are viewing me for the very first time, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am an information synthesizer, a mystical scholar, and an intuitive. And I know with my whole heart and entire being that each one of us is a beloved child of God. We are known and we are loved unconditionally, completely, and beyond measure. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It'll really help the channel, and I would truly appreciate it. So now, let's talk about the Ascension timeline of the Earth and humanity. In 1987, there was a very special alignment of the planets called the harmonic convergence. And it was during the harmonic convergence that the souls on Earth were asked to choose whether they and the Earth would move forward in ascension or humanity and the Earth would be destroyed. Well, the souls on Earth chose to move ahead in ascension. That is why we are still on the Earth. Armageddon has not occurred, and why there is all the change and chaos occurring out there on the planet. Prior to 1987, the third dimension was the way of life on planet Earth. Time was linear. Things were very structured. It was very locked down. Those of us who were born and raised in that energy, the rules were very clear. Consequences were very clear. There was structure. There was not a lot of deviation. There was a narrative, and you followed it, at least on the surface. With 1987 and that vote, that choice, changes began to occur. That was when the magnetic grid of the Earth began to change. And you can go back and verify this in different scientific periodicals and journals, how the ley lines of the Earth have changed, how the North Pole is moved, because the magnetic grid was designed prior to 1987 to keep humanity in that dimensional vibration, primarily so humanity could not fall any further than the third dimension. So with 1987, the grid, the magnetics of the Earth began to change, and we move into the 1990s. And in standing back, looking at what happened during that decade, we had the fall of the Soviet Union. That happened for a multitude of reasons, but the spiritual reason was that you couldn't continue, Earth could not continue, to have two superpowers with nuclear arsenals threatening and potentially destroying each other. That had to end. And it did. If the Earth and humanity were going to ascend, we could not go into a nuclear war that would destroy the planet. The other big clue that things had changed from a homogeneous culture was in the media. Information silos were created in the 1990s to provide differing viewpoints. In looking back, if you observe relationships with people in your lives that perhaps you were close to, some of you were moving in different directions with different understandings and different viewpoints. And it's not that that wasn't there before. It's just that it began to come to the surface. And the media was a huge part in illustrating that and fostering that, and to some extent giving gas to that, creating more and more and more polarity with the new energies, with the new magnetics occurring, and the grid being changed. It allowed for differing viewpoints to come to the surface. It allowed for news programs based on very, very specific mindsets and opinions to proliferate. And it allowed people to speak their truths regardless. And that continues to this day. And one of the next big markers of the Ascension and the changes was September 11th, where the world towers were attacked. And by the U.S. going into the Middle East, it was basically like taking a big stick and stirring a pot. It created tremendous disruption. And with this disruption, thousands and thousands of years of history and energetics was disturbed. And with this disruption, there has been a lot of chaos and violence that has been unleashed. But the larger spiritual purpose of that was to disrupt these energies, because they were very locked in. They were very established. These very old energies need to come to the surface to be healed. And at some point, new leaders will step forward to lead the way for peace, for a world that works for all. But we are still in the fallout. And that will continue to unfold. And then there was COVID in 2020, where the world stopped. So much loss on multiple levels. But spiritually, we were literally being forced to take a time out, to stop the busyness, to stop the rushing, perhaps to stop the buying, to fill up things that we needed to address inside. It was there to remind us how important human touch is and human interaction, and how much we need each other as human beings. Never before in the world, other than a major world war, has the world just stopped. And that's what COVID did. It stopped the world. And many of our lives are very, very different than they were before COVID. It altered structures, it altered communities, it's altered delivery systems, and it's not done yet. The world is still working its way out of COVID. And the lack of integrity in certain systems and things that need to be addressed will continue to come out and to be healed and to be changed in the years moving forward. In 1987 began a 36-year countdown. And this countdown covered from the initiation to 2012 to 2030. And actually 2012 was the midpoint. So throughout the world, we can see the polarization, the sorting out of ideas, the clashing of belief systems. And this decade of 2020 to 2030 is a bridging decade. During this time, we will continue to see rapid exponential change. The train is on the track. It's not going to be slowed down. And 2023 was a pinnacle year. And I would like to remind all of you who are viewing this video that only the bravest, hardiest souls were given permission to come to Earth during this auspicious time. Those who were most likely to fulfill their soul's blueprint and their mission, as well as supporting whatever part they are playing in the Ascension, got these tickets, front row seats, to the greatest show in all of creation. There were countless number of souls who wanted to be here, who asked to be here, but only those who were deemed to have the highest probability of performing their part to the best of their ability were given the tickets to come. And we are being watched by all of creation. Earth was a Christed planet. It still is a Christed planet, meaning that it has the part of God inside her, just as each one of us has a part of God inside us. We are Christed beings. But the earth fell with humanity from the 12th dimension to the 3rd dimension. There was really not a thought that the earth would ascend to her former majesty with mankind, because never before in all of creation had a Christed planet at the vibration and the beauty of the earth had they ever fallen to such a low dimension. A low dimension where there is no love, a low dimension where everything is conditional, a dimension where there is no integrity. But then there were people like you and me, and we said, no, we can do this. And we are doing it. And the reason all of creation is watching us as we move through this ascension with our beloved Gaia. Once we have completed this, that there will never need to be any 3rd dimensional reality to learn and to grow. Your purpose here is far greater and spiritual and cosmic than most can ever imagine. And the ascension will not end with 2030. It will go beyond until Earth does attain the 12th dimension again. We're in a 5-decade expansion and beyond. And with all this being exposed, please take care of yourselves. The world will look very, very different, even in 10 to 15 years. Trust that the universe has a plan. Trust that you are part of that plan. Trust that you will be guided to make the changes that you need to make in your life. Trust that you will have the courage and tenacity and resilience to do that for yourself and your family. Know that we are all in this together, and that we are all here by divine grace, and that we are all held in the love of God and Spirit. And take care of yourself. Thank you for being here with me today for this Masterful chat. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment. I'd love to hear your questions or thoughts, wherever you're at in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Until we chat again, blessings.